Whether it is by choice or circumstance, a large number of people will find themselves in the singles category when they retire. The Pew Research Center says it will be about 21% of men 65 and older, nearly half of women in the same age group. And that means facing quite a few of life's challenges on your own. So in today's segment, sponsored by Safe Harbor Retirement, President Cory Sickles is here with some guidance. Hi, Cory.
Hi, Robin.
I did not realize that so many people face retirement on their own. I mean, that's a pretty large percentage when you get down to it.
It is. It's a very large percentage. And of course, as you reach 70 and 75 and 80, the number becomes, even higher.
Right.
So it's so important or so vital just to make sure that you have some type of plan in place. If you do lose your spouse, or if you even go into retirement on your own, it's just so important to be able to, have a financial plan on what happens then, or if you're going into it, what are you going to do, how are you going to prepare for it as well.
And that's interesting too, because at some point, right, either one of you will likely fall into that as you get older. So this is important for anybody having that plan before retirement. So let's talk then about being a single person. What are some of the things that you have to consider that maybe you don't when you're going in jointly?
Well, first of all, I think it's good to work with an advisor just so you can start to have a plan in place. But when you really think about it, you need to save. You really need to start saving as early as possible, because odds are you're going to live longer in retirement, and you don't have anyone else to rely on. There's no other spouse. And the other side of it is taxes are going to be a little bit harder for a single person as well, because there's some huge benefits if you're married. And of course, if you don't have that partner, then another thing you really have to be concerned about potentially is what happens if I go into some type of long-term care facility, or who's going to take care of me if that time does come.
Right, that's all important. And one of the other things I know from just talking to you over the years, Cory, is how important it is as to when you choose to kind of trigger your Social Security, right? How does that play into being a kind of a single retiree?
Well, really, Social Security is the foundation for most people's retirement plans. That's the first thing we need to be able to do. And, what I would really think about is if you're single, you're the only, it's going to be based upon your work record. Now, you could have been divorced, or maybe you're a widow or widower, and there's some options for you as well. So, one of the things that we try to do is we have a Social Security maximization report it's going to allow you to be educated to really find out when you want to trigger your benefit. Because what a lot of people need to realize is at the age of 66, which is when most people's full retirement age is, from 66 to 70, Social Security grows 8% per year.
Wow.
So there's a potential for about a 32% potential more monthly income coming in. So you only get one shot at Social Security, so you need to make sure that you're working with someone then you want to make sure that you do it the right way.
And that's amazing to think that a few years could make such a huge difference in the rest of your life, whatever you have. So anything else that you really want people to know should be considered when they're talking about their retirement plan?
Well, I would think that one of the, people are living longer. So, if you're single, if you're 65, you might have another 20, 25, 30 years in retirement. And one of the things that can derail that would be long-term care as well. And I think a lot of people are nervous about that. I don't want to go back to my kids, or maybe you don't have kids. Who's really going to be able to take care of me? And one of the things that I would recommend that you would do, earlier the better, is potentially, work with an advisor like myself to maybe find out some different ways to be able to have some type of long-term care if that does happen.
And what about like those emergency situations as well? I'm sure you talk to people about, okay, you don't have a spouse to make these medical decisions, to make these financial decisions. You talk about who's the person you want to decide all this.
Yeah, that's also, I see that a lot where they really don't maybe have that someone else, but hopefully you have a friend or a family member that you can actually, that you can actually have as, be your financial power of attorney, or maybe be the executor of your estate if something does happen, because they are very worried about it. It's the healthcare probably more than anything. Who's going to make those decisions for them? You can probably have like an attorney be your financial or power of attorney or your executor, but it's those healthcare decisions I think a lot of people get really nervous about.
Right, you maybe want somebody more personally attached to you to make those decisions. All right, well, Cory does offer complimentary consultations as always, so you can reach out, get the process started. It is important to have a plan, that we know, so all the information up on screen for you. Thank you, Cory.
Thank you, Robin.